This administration and the radical left has an incredible thirst for power, Tony. And I would just say, I don't know how you feel, but I think we are facing the most serious threat to our country in any of our lifetimes. And I mean, maybe in the last century or more. I mean, the radical cultural Marxism, the new Marxism that is driving this administration and is driving the left, it is a thirst for power. And you're seeing it, Tony. I mean, if you disagree with them, they will come after you. They will try to shut you down. Heck, they would throw us all in jail if they could. They absolutely would. And it's an extremism of a kind we've never seen, I think, in this country before. And that is why, above all, it is a time for all conservatives, but especially for believers. It is a time for us to stand up and defend the principles of this country.
Not only have they weaponized government against us, but they've got their stormtroopers out there.
The projection and gaslighting from Republicans like Josh Hawley is out of control. When you look at the steady pace where he described what conservatives have openly been doing, while blaming it on his political opponents, it'd be more effective in confusing people, if not for the reality that we've all experienced. So let's break this whole thing down, lie by lie.
This administration and the radical left has an incredible thirst for power, Tony. And I would just say, I don't know how you feel, but I think we are facing the most serious threat to our country in any of our lifetimes. And I mean, maybe in the last century or more. I mean, the radical cultural Marxism, the new Marxism that is driving this administration and is driving the left, it is a thirst for power.
An incredible thirst for power, Tony, except for the fact that Trump, not a member of the radical left, and his allies have plans to increase executive power, but if Trump gets back in office, to wield it. He and his buddies want to bring the FCC and the FTC directly under his control. He wants to circumvent congressional power of the purse by refusing to spend money on programs the legislator has appropriated simply because he doesn't like it or it doesn't benefit him or his allies. He wants to end employment protections for civil servants that operate within the normal mechanisms of government and replace them with mindless yes men. And the intelligence agencies, like the one that he claimed were lying about his good buddy Vladimir Putin when Trump kissed his feet, they'd be kneecapped too. So with no intel or judicial agencies keeping an eye on him, he envisions a reign of lawlessness. Maybe this is the thirst for power that Josh Hawley's talking about. And this is only 5 seconds into Hawley's bull diatribe.
I think we are facing the most serious threat to our country in any of our lifetimes. And I mean, maybe in the last century or more. I mean, the radical cultural Marxism, the new Marxism that is driving this administration and is driving the left, it is a thirst for power.
The most serious threat to our country. MAGA's been saying this so much they've gotten the sheriff down in Jacksonville to completely disrespect the lives of 3 black Americans that were brutally murdered by an unabashed white supremacist too.
So we had this massive shooting at the Dollar General, and I'm repulsed by it, and it is what it is. Joe Biden called me. He was very supportive, but in that conversation he said that white supremacy is the most dangerous domestic terrorist threat that we face in America.
Are you kidding?
He did say that. He did say it. And he's been saying that. He's been saying that across the country. And out of respect for him, I didn't say anything, but he knew my silence was very, very telling.
What's more telling than Sheriff T.K. Waters' cowardly silence in the face of white supremacists terrorizing his city is that the reason Joe Biden has been saying that white supremacist terror is the biggest terror threat is because those pesky intelligence and judicial agencies that Trump is prepared to make work only for him, they've been pointing out that the biggest domestic terror threat comes from white supremacists. Even a Trump administration Department of Justice official said white supremacy and far-right extremism are the greatest security threats. Despite TK's silence, a GAO report pointed out that fatalities from attacks by right-wing extremists have exceeded those caused by Islamic extremists. And of the 85 violent extremist deaths since 9/11, right-wing terrorists were responsible for a whopping 73% of them. Sheriff Waters was silent when the truth was being spoken on the phone, but he couldn't help but to highlight the reality right after those murders in that Dollar General store.
Do you think this was a hate crime? Because you've read the words of this man who perpetrated this horrible violence.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it.
He hated blacks, and I think he hated just about everyone that wasn't white. He made that very clear. I want to make sure people understand that he is completely accountable. He understood what he was doing based upon the things that I've read. He understood what he was doing, and he understood why he was doing it.
But for some reason, TK Waters doesn't understand what he's doing or apparently what he's saying. But he did win some political points with MAGA by providing cover for radical white supremacists that are looking to kill more black people in this city. So congratulations. Here's the last batch of Senator Hawley's lies, confronted with reality.
Not only have they weaponized government against us, but they've got their stormtroopers.
I'm here to guarantee Trump gets back in and get rid of the corruption that's in the White House right now. It's a disgrace.
So are all the left and the rhinos, the globalists.
They jail them all. Jail them all.
I agree with you on that.
You're seeing it, Tony. I mean, if you disagree with them, they will come after you. They will try to shut you down. Heck, they would throw us all in jail if they could. They absolutely would.
We got to get her going. I don't think she likes me too much.
And then as far as I'm concerned, lock him up.
And then we have Hillary Clinton, who was storing classified information. It never gets old.